here. I'm not jumping. I'm not like jumping. I'm breathing. I'm holding him right on me. Not out here. Not out here. Here. Really here. Otherwise it's too hard. I want to put it on my body and turn. One more. Tension masks, covers sensation. So it's a balance. If I'm too tense, I don't feel gravity. I can't tell if I'm falling. And then it's very late. I'm relaxed and I feel it's going down. I work with it. Too loose, it's not good. Too tight, it's difficult. I'm not already committed to a shape. I'm in the movement. And I feel the support and I organize around the support when I feel it very quickly. But I wait. But I'm not too loose and I'm not already committed. I'm in between. In other dance choreographies, it looks like people are touching, or they're touching, it looks like they're leaning or they're balanced together, but in fact they don't really need each other. If the other one goes, nothing happens. But in this case, if you fall, you will be caught. There's going to be a relationship. Trust is something, I think, that is not what we call blind faith, that you just believe no matter what. You don't have to guess. You can feel it. So if you train yourself to actually be sensitive enough to feel things, then you're in dialogue with something real. You're not hoping that it's there. I think part of the power of the work as well is just touching, physical contact. I don't know why, really, but it's a very powerful element. I mean, there are many studies about babies who are touched and not touched and how it affects development, physical development, mental development, emotional. But I think that that's part of what brings people back and makes them feel healthy and alive and balanced and satisfied when they're doing contact. The small communications inside the support, inside the relaxing of the weight into the support, very small. So now your center is always kind of engaged, connected through your body. Soften it and follow the touch. Follow the touch back into the body. In our cultures, touch was related to either intimacy or like social intimacy or violence, like sexuality or violence. And to have a language that was a physical language that was touch-based, that was neither of those extremes necessarily. It wasn't a social form and it wasn't about fighting. It was about talking to each other about different things. That was pretty new. I think that's new, or was new, and continues to be attractive to people for a lot of different reasons. Sending energy into the spine, into the head. Listening with your whole spine. Contact improvisation as a duet movement form, improvised movement form, originated in 1972 by choreographer Steve Paxton, based on the communication between two or more moving bodies that are in physical contact and their combined relationship to the physical laws governing their motion. Gravity, centrifugal force, momentum, friction, inertia. I'm imagining her sacrum and behind her pelvis, where it's already on the floor. Yeah. So it's already relaxed on the floor. She doesn't have to do anything. And I lift my head so I don't go shooting too far that way. Drop me down, way far away. Counterbalance. Reach your feet early. Ride them up to the center. Way far away. Fall way backwards. Woo!
Okay. I do again. Yes. My name is Mandoline, and I'm French American. I've been dancing contact for 4 or 5 years now. I was in the US for 3 years dancing, and I've just moved back to France 10 months ago. I'm living in Montpellier in the south. So I've been dancing with Nancy for 4 years. I was very excited in coming to a continuing workshop because you bump into people that you haven't danced with for 2 or 3 years, and maybe you've lost touch with some, but you come with your questions and how you've been evolving in your dance or your life, and meet again. And often it's interesting how what coincidences happen. People are asking similar questions or not, and this has been a wonderful group to work with in particular.
I'm Martin, I'm coming from Switzerland, and I was dancing contact improvisation the last 8 years. I like the atmosphere that we can work during the day and go on with discussion at night, during eating. There's a lot of open space to communicate, to explore, to express, to exchange.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm from San Francisco, California. And this will be my 5th time studying with Nancy at a like an intensive workshop. I do mostly choreography, set dance when I'm at home, and I feel like these workshops are a chance for me to explore improvisation. It's something that, for reasons that I'm still trying to understand, something that eludes me as a practice at home. And every time I've come to study with Nancy, I come away with something new. We go deeper into similar materials and methods, but there's always another question and another level of understanding to be gained.
Body is connected to yourself, to the wind, to the balance of easy and alert. Get your rhythm, maybe change the length of your step, height, speed, either side going backwards. It was about 3 years into the contact improvisation work, and we had been to California and a few places to show contact improvisation, and we had been hearing that some people were inspired from watching and started to just practice, and there were some injuries, and we wondered whether what we were doing was dangerous or if we should copyright. This was the question about trademarking copyright, create a certification, and we decided that we really didn't want to create so much organization and structure around it and hierarchy, but to encourage communication among people who were practicing. And Steve was very involved in and interested in talking about ideas and in bringing language to the work, but not making a definition in that sense. So people were free to experiment with how to describe what it was, and everybody who started teaching would make another definition. So between all the definitions started to make sense of a work.
I'm Mike Vargas, and I'm in Casina Settarte with Nancy Stark-Smith and a bunch of wonderful dancers. And I'm here because I love exploring new situations, and I love improvising music and composing.
complications adding up to the bigger. When we met at the Bates Dance Festival, before we started working together, we had very inspiring conversations about art and improvisation, and I could hear in what he was saying a kind of, you know, an affinity, a resonant mind, and I felt like I had a lot to learn from interacting with him.
Practicing listening is directly related to contact improvisation, because in order to do it well, you have to be listening very carefully to your partner's body, listening in a physical way. But listening is a great word, I think, and so it's easy for dancers to see the connection between listening carefully to sound and listening carefully to their partner as they dance.
Connection from the hands through the arms into your center. A little bounce. Come up through zero again. When you're at zero, feel your feet, feel your own structure. Feel the slack in the arms, and then open behind. Hands are connected to center. For most all of my working with contact, I did not work with music. And one of the reasons was really just this sense that the rhythm and the musicality of the dialogue between the two bodies is very complex and is very particular, and needs to be focused on for a long time to learn the rhythm of falling and gravity, and if there's music with a very strong beat, our habit is to move with that beat, and it will be the primary impulse, and then maybe the person will be the secondary one. But in contact, the other partner has to be the primary, and the gravity is also part of one of the partners, you could say. contact improvisation is now 30 years old, and it's funny because you don't know where you are in the cycle of something. You know, like maybe this is near the end of contact improvisation. I don't think so, but maybe it is. Maybe it's really the beginning, the early years, and like in 100 years they're going to call this whole part the beginning. Or maybe we're in the middle and you don't know.